maybe I break down into 6 important factors, mainly for in the luxury segments, not just on the so-called the mass or RCR area. So first important factor I look at it is the macro factor. Okay, that means for luxury segment, we don't just focus on the job-wise or the local side. So there are many factors. First of all, we should look into the macro. And people ask me why we are not looking at the world on Europe and only at the Asia-Pac or ASEAN. So maybe I'll share with you in a short while. So let me talk about this APAC first. Now, despite the challenge, I mean, this one you can use it. Later, the slide was sent to you. You can use it for your sales kit, but you don't need to go through every single line. I already have highlighted in red. See, despite this period for challenges, those APAC, you look at it, they have a growth of 29% during this significant. For this period, they have a significant increase. It's not just 1 or 2%. Now, in short, who are these family officers? You look at on the right-hand side, right? Basically, these people are with deep pocket. Okay, and then they grow their strength, not only riding on the economy wave, and they're also shifting the way in their favor. Today, I do not want to go through a very detailed, and frankly speaking, you should spend more time on the PREFECT TEN later on than going through all these details. So that's why in Singapore, there are more and more all this office setup. Why? Because this group of people are getting richer and richer. And part of it, they will use all this money. Whatever they make from this growth, they will put aside for property purchase. Where are the segments? It must be in the lux segment. I'm not saying that whether it's a mass market no good or RCR or whichever, but I mean, most of it, we are not, PREFECT TEN is not just a CCR region. We are in the lux segment as well. So this will attract this group of people. Okay. Now you look at it, they have growth in many ways. You look at it, but I'm not going through, as I mentioned, maybe some of it is for your sales kit. Due to the time constraint, I cannot go through every single one. Now you look at it, why I chose APAC, the APAC group, APAC. So you look at it, the highlighted one, I see permanent residents and foreigners from where? From China, Malaysia, Indonesia, Australia, South Korea. These are all from the ASIAPAC. If you go and check all the country, right, the one that I highlighted are all these from this group of people. You see, this article was on the 22nd of November. Whatever I share on your the articles, most of it are these few days one. Because people say, I'm running out of articles. Is there any articles that help to boost up the sales? Actually, in actual fact, every day there are many articles, including today's. So I go through with you the past 1 week articles, or maybe 1 or 2 is past few months. Now look at US and UK. Practically, if you ask me, quite a number, even recently have sold some of the property. They are Taiwanese, but holding US passport. Now Hong Kong is mainly supported. They support where? The Canada and the UK. Not the UK, and Hong Kong. Now Hong Kong and Taiwan also fall under ASIAPAC. So that's why our property price, if ASIAPAC is doing well, then you'll flow some of the money to our side, including property. So I just highlighted those important pointers. The rest I'm not going through, like how expensive the most expensive penthouse is also sold. Now next also about ASEAN. If you ask me, we have seen the growth wave of the Europe, the Japan, the US, the China. I'm quite confident in the next 5 to 10 years, ASEAN will have a big growth. unlike past 20, 30 years, I'm quite confident. If you look at the recent 1 or 2 years, be it the upcoming Vietnam or Cambodia, or the existing Indonesia, which is the largest in terms of the GDP, followed by Thailand, Malaysia, and also including Singapore, Philippines. So we form the ASEAN 5. If you look at my top left hand, we are the ASEAN 5 GDP growth. ASEAN has 10. We are in the top 5. So the detail, again, I don't want to go through. But what's important is to share with your client that the growth is from 3.2 to 5.3. Again, why ASEAN is important? Since young or past decades, Malaysian, the Indonesian keep on buying our Singapore property, not just on OCR, but also in the large segment and CCR. That's why you see, Singapore properties is not just restricted only the locals, but also the foreigners. So beside that, we have the ASIAPAC. Now we got the ASEAN, but we have limited land, limited supply every year. On average, it's about 10 to 12,000. We don't have like that country is one project, they have 8 to 10,000 supply. We don't. So every year, we probably have about 10 to 12,000. If you look at the volume, check with them on volume. So all I already highlighted, you can go through again. Now, in terms of the inflations, the things keep on going up and getting more expensive. I fully agree. But look at the recent one, 22nd. It's also a few days ago. We are still below the global levels. This is a good sign because once inflation out of control, that means the economy must be doing well. The next thing what we will do is interest rate will follow. But good sign is we are still below because sometimes when you see all these are important, because we are dealing with large segments in the large segments area. We are dealing with businessmen, investors. They probably will want to understand more. In actual fact, they understand more. They want to hear from you, your view, in terms of our surrounding, the macro level. So on the center part, you see that in the Southeast Asia, we are the manufacturing powerhouse. We also will benefit from the RCEP, which I'm not going to go through the review. You can go and read up because we only have about 1 hour to complete the whole thing. So this is the macro level. Now, how about micro level? Besides the macro level, we need to also understand our micro level. Means our own issue. Is this good? The macro is good, doesn't mean your micro is good. Because not 100% will flow to Singapore. So we clear the first one. Now we come to the second one. Now, you don't need to go and challenge with them, just show them the articles. Why articles is important? Based on the survey, 97% Singaporean will believe the article is correct. Unlike other countries, maybe about 50, 60%. But in Singapore, when the law come in or whenever the government come out something, most of them will believe this is true. Only about 3-5% will doubt on the system. Just like COVID every day, the figures, and then the way the implementation, whether it's a landscape or the future growth, whatever reflected in the master plan, in the articles, 97% of people will believe this is real. So it's better to use all these articles that we share and share with them. Now come to the micro part. Let's talk about the Singapore economy. Now this is today one, if I'm not wrong, it's today. Now this year is 7%. For those who are not aware of GDP, for maybe for the past decade, 1 decade, We don't even achieve 5%, or in the 3 to 5%. 7% is a great year, where everybody start to do well. Then you will start to see people start buying property, car, or tour. But car and tour is just a temporary. But people will still want to do it, to purchase property for mid or long-term growth. Even for next year, they forecast at 3 to 5. Singapore government is always very conservative one. Because every month, every quarter, they will get the economists, whether you're even from NUS or NTU, all these to come in to forecast. So they will always forecast on the lower range, 3 to 5. So even when this forecast 7% previously was forecast 6 to 7. Now it's quite true that we're moving toward 7%. So it means that our local economy are doing well as well, not just rely on our foreign country. Okay. So these are things I given to you. Congratulations, we are right in the right industry. The top two are the constructions and the real estates. So you can see that quite a number of it are all related to our area here. Okay. So I would not want to elaborate more. So this one I given to you, I enlarge it. Now, how about our non-oil domestic growth? If you look at all those are highlighted, right? 11 months of growth in October. Rose at the fastest pace in 4 years, better than our pre-COVID. You look at it, this is not ASEAN. Also not, I think this was also on the 18th of November. Again, you see, I like to use the past few days. I throw away all my old articles. So not only our GDP, our export are also doing extremely well. And when China recently has slowed down, many people say we are affected, which are so far is not affected yet because we have also grown from elsewhere. Where I mentioned to you the ASEAN, the ASIAPAC. Now, if once reopening, I'm sure this will be, well, whether you go extremely high, but at least I will say that you maintain that kind of growth. You look at it, we went up to about 17.9. This is a chart, you can take a look. These are our micro. First one is macro, second one is micro. Now, how about pay? If the macro do well, what got to do with me? If the government micro side do well, what got to do with me? But look at this title, pay growth to return to pre-COVID. So let's don't talk about the property first. We talk about, because in order for property price to move or attract foreigner, every area must be doing well, especially the lux segment. That's why when people will say, oh, the lux segment is not doing well, but eventually you will move. Obviously, you have to move the bottom one first, which is your HDB, which is your mass project market. After that, you start to move to your RCR, followed by your CCR. And next will be your lux segment, which we are in the right project right now. So the pay rise, well, I share with you all these 3.5 and up to 35% for niche role. Unbelievable. And you look at it, most percentage growth, you will see that the CEO, okay, the COO, all those management will normally on quite a good pay growth. And who are the ones who benefit? Look at my right-hand side that I have highlighted for you. The citizens and permanent residents with niche tech skills as an ongoing market trend. That's why you see quite a number of it company which is before 40 years old or around there are start buying the GCB or high-end condo or even per level. Frankly speaking, if you ask me for PREFECT TEN, per level is only about 18 to 20 million. This is nothing for this group of people. Later I'll share with you why. Per level is only 18 to 20 million. A car itself already worth more than 1 million. Now there's so many people working into all this to buy a car for $1 million. Car is a liability. It's never be an asset. So just to share with you. Next. Now these are all the breakdown on the industry. So I will foresee there's this even 3 to 5% fall into this type of growth. Our supply cannot help these people to buy that kind of property. There's a limit. Like look at our project is a perfect project. Sad to say that we only have 230 units. Even the Saturday launch, which I'm not mentioning the project, in a CCR, the price is premium, is great. Even at 1,000 units, I'm sure on that day, the Saturday, it will able to hit more than 80% or 70% at least. Okay. So I really break down for y'all easy to do a presentation. I don't see need any major presentation kit. I think all these are good enough for you to do the sharing. Majority, the developer had come out great apps for us to focus on the project. Okay, now this one I did share during the August, but I just repeat. So these are important factors on our income. So you look at it, the number of people who make 20,000 and above per month and over, that means unlimited, 30,000, 40,000, 50,000 also, has grown from 6.6% over the last decade to now to 13.9%. That is why over the last few months, all the property price in the few millions, not the 1 million and below or 2 million and below, you can see that's increasing. This is one of the factors later I'll share with you first. Let's understand this first. You see, those that 10,000, 9,000 and above, 9,000 and above has already increased. You see, from 8 to 8.5 and all the way until 20,000. That's why I would say that premium HDB, EC, CCR, and Lux segment will continue to grow in the next decade. So you can see all these very clear cut. So those below one, you can see that below 9,000 is likely to be in the older projects, older HDB flat. So we have two extremes. The unemployed one also went up. The 20,000 also went up. But we only, as a real estate agent, we only focus on those that are growing. It's more important to us, not that those are not growing. Below 9,000 is nothing we can do. But it's a good sign. If you're a real estate salesperson, chances that your client can move from an OCR to a CCR within a decade, if you look at the growth. Now I say one, all these are all statistics. Singaporeans like to read statistics, PR, foreigner. This is a very good. I will not go through the chart, this and that, but all these are good enough. Now, look at this also the same. The number of holding people is in the next decade, my prediction, will be below 78% with so many restrictions. The prime location, you need to hold 10 years. With certain amount, you need to return back. Now look at the condominium. We have went up from 11.5 to 16%. If there's lesser demand on HDB, then likely the government will come out more GLS land for the condominium, which we have seen that. So my prediction is there'll be more then 16% in the next 10 years, which is not now, 2030. Just do some analysis with your client. Will this be happen? I also foreseen the number of people who are going to own the landed property will be getting lesser. Why? Because landed property price are increased much faster than the income, which is not easy to achieve. So you can see over the last 10 years, a lot of saying we have more people owning the landed, which is not true. Because the limit, there's a limit for landed property, 77,000, how far they can go. So this group of people will not easily sell unless the price premium is great. So again, I'm not going through whether it's a Chinese buying or Malay. I mean, I would just go to the races, but I think you should focus on our part. So the last segment also don't have a lot. Just similar like a landed. You don't have a large segment like PREFECT TEN, you have 1,000 unit, 1,005 or 2,000. It's a niche market, just like your GCB. You see, you have seen in the articles that people who buy GCB, next thing they buy high-end, the large segment condominium. Okay, this is micro. Now worse, we are going to have the millionaire before we reach the 2030. I don't know whether it's a good sign or bad sign. The number of millionaires in Singapore is going to go up by 62% by 2025. Now it's 2021. We are ending 2021 soon. But I can feel it's possible the way people are buying. Later, I'll give you some case study for certain project. Okay, you see, the net worth, ultra high net worth adult, 136 months. Just to share with you. I think these are articles that are good, but don't go into the detail part, which I only like to focus on the heading part, which is good enough to capture it. Like today, I always prefer to use so-called your business time as compared to Straits time. Like today one, they talk about business time will talk about 7%. But the first page of Straits time will talk about a bit bad about our GDP for next year. So the heading is very important. I look at it now. Now, when this thing happens, everything is so good. That means you have to pay for a price. Means what? GST is going up. GST going up means it's a good sign. Means Singapore is doing well. Okay, but they will tell you, the expert say put off from 7, that's why I don't highlight. These are all the negative things. You don't get involved. But it's a matter of time, the GST will go up. We just need to work harder before the thing coming up. Okay? Same. What happened? If everybody start to buy, then what happened? The construction costs, the inflation, everything will go up. These are the not so good, but to people who own property will laugh all the way. People who just bought last year, April to June, or end last year, or a few months ago, to them is the way bought the property. What got to do with me on our construction costs? So this thing is where everything is good, there will have some risk. That is why to avoid this thing happening, this slide you have to tell your consumer, please start to buy now. Not wait until 4 years later. There are more multi-millionaire coming after compete with you. When all the construction start to go up, when inflation, interest start to go up, you may have a hard time to get the right property. Getting a property is no problem. Getting a perfect property or right property or premium property is a problem. Okay? So far, so good. I hope if I'm too fast, I'm trying to go as slow as possible because we'll open up soon. We need you to share with your client on all these very 6 important factors. Okay, just to share with you. Okay, you see, look at the below one. They also scared the government will going to do the cooling measure. But now you see, they think that chances not high. From 65 reduced to 62. What they are concerned now is really the construction cost. It's really the inflation, not so much on the interest rate. Then job loss, you see, decline. All these are lower, getting lower, 37.2. Slow down. You see, all these are not really a concern. Okay. So tightening may be possible. I look at it 32.6 as compared to 23. But don't go into all this detail. Trust me, there are so many factors for you to go through. Now, I've gone through the macro factor, which is all positive. Micro factor, also positive. Now, how about private home sales? Is it really that good in the CCR or in the lux segment? So I share with you, we don't need to go through past 3 quarters, past 1 year, or past 5 years. We just need to know the past 2 months. Now you can see that looking at the statistic, okay, you have the September, you have the October. The September on the left-hand side, the October, see all these are all, I share with you, all these are September part. Then I also have the October part, but I break down these are October part. So maybe instead of, for presentation wise, it's very difficult to and fro, so I do a comparison. Now, this is the lux segment, lux segment. So we don't compare those 800,000 to 2 million. Let's look at the 2 to 3 million, which is at the center, below center. 2 to 3 million. We have about 234. Okay? As compared to the left-hand side, 2 to 3 million in the pre-September, we have 217. That means we have more people with more deep pocket buying more 2 to 3 million. Later, my another DD Terence will share with you on the pricing. So just remember this, because we are not concerned about those 800 or less than 2 million. Let's look at the 2 to 3 million. Is there a growth or not? You need to share with your client. So 217 versus 234, we have an increment. Let's look at 3 to 5 million. From 53, we have increased to 85. The percentage also went up to 9.4%. And not only that, those in the 5 to 10 million and above the 10 million, from 3 increased to 11. So it's really amazing. The things are moving in all sectors. So this you can share with your client as well. How about CCR? CCR all the while in years, normally our volume are low. We can't compete with the OCR. But you can see that the CCR monthly increments are getting higher. From a 20.2%, it went up to 30.8. Let me tell you, for those who are not aware in the market, this month, the CCR will be the champion as compared to the RCR and OCR. It will be the #1. Luckily, PREFECT TEN is not going to launch this month. If it's not, the gap is even wider. I'm quite confident after the price was released to your consumer. So you can see all this number. Why I say November, the sales will be great for CCR. Now you look at Canning Hill. Out of 696, more than 530 units are sold. More than 530 units. And an average price of 3,000 PSF, not 2,000. Can you see that? And people, just like going to the market and rush to buy the unit. If they can buy, if they bought a unit that day, I think just like they struck a lottery. Just to tell you, today buying a new launch is very stressful. Very, very stressful. Trust me. If you can get a unit, really must thank many people. Just to have share with you. Okay, as compared to the rest of it, PREFECT 10 is on December, so it doesn't affect. So the rest of it is all the Commodore. I will also presume they will be doing equally well. So, but it doesn't have effect on the. It doesn't have able to challenge the CCR result. Okay. Now, so first macro. For those who don't agree, maybe you can text and maybe we can go through why you don't agree. The macro part is already a clear factor. Micro is a second one, I also explained, which is our internal. Then also the project sales is also moving fast. Today market no product. Resale also running out. Okay, HDB also running out. Mass market also running out. RCR also running out. CCR also limited. No stock, but not much land for sale. En bloc need to wait, probably about a year. So there will be demand much more than your supply, and it create a lot of problem. Now, PREFECT 10 is in the Freehold and District 10. So actually, I didn't want to share this, but they say, is it true that Freehold will not make a lot of money? And District 10, is it worth it or not? Okay, so I tell everybody, because the agent telling me, is there any slide or one or two slides, or maybe about a report to show that Freehold and District 10 is good? Okay, because PREFECT 10 is in District 10 and also a Freehold property. I give you one slide, no only a report, to show to your client that Freehold and District 10 will still remain strong. Okay, but if you see the next slide, don't feel offended, because I'm selling this project. I just tell you whatever, we only share with you what is the best for my project. We don't want to kill any other project, whether it be sale. So what is this slide? Not 6 months ago, few days ago, 17th of November. Look at the one that I highlighted, the rest don't care. The top 5 most profitable deal, 4 of the 5 were Freehold. So we give a leasehold a chance. Now look at the profitable sales in Q3, not 2020, it's 2021, the latest one. Profitable sales by quantum, predominantly from District 10. This statement is not from me, it's from the Business Times. And 97% of the reader have to agree with this. You should not doubt this. And I don't think your buyer will doubt this. So if you are selling District 9, obviously we wouldn't want to use this article. But if you are going to sell PREFECT 10, these are good enough to show that this Freehold are the one who make a lot of money. Okay? We don't want to go through the individual projects, because I only capture what is good and what is no good. No good one, I put one side. That's how we are salesperson. We only take up. And you are dealing with large sectors. Don't need to spend 2-3 hours on talking. I think about how I'm going through quite slowly is because I hope you can digest more, then you can share a bit. If it's not, I hardly do this slow pace sharing. Then you all will be benefit. Okay. Now let's do a checklist. Some of them just came in. Macro got problem? No problem. We don't care about Europe. We don't care about other part of the world. We only care about ASIAPAC, which I told you, 29% growth increment. The pocket are damn deep one. That's why Singapore government is smart. They want to capture this group of people coming over. Then followed by ASEAN. Okay, so even eventually I can foresee in the next 5 to 10 years, this Cambodia, Vietnam will become stronger. And also, I look at it, as long Myanmar can overcome all this political issue, I don't see any problem. But let's don't go too deep. We just focus on Asia, ASEAN 5, which we are part of it. Everything is all like that. ASIAPAC, oh, Singapore is involved. ASEAN, we are involved. The rest not involved, we don't care about it. Now, second point is the micro. This is a summary part. Singapore economy got problem? No problem. 7%, 3 to 5 forecast. Which you can see, the last few years, we are also in this region. Don't talk about last year. Last year is a global issue. It's a pandemic issue. Will the pandemic come back again? If your client asks you, I will tell you yes. This is not the last. I started my industry as a SARS period. I thought after 15 years, there's nothing. But sad to say that it came back after 17 years. So it's okay. When we got SARS, our property still grew. Our pandemic, we still do well. The Lehman Brothers, we also do well. So means we are a great stock, a great product to many of the investors. Okay, they'll be up and down, eventually will grow up. Just like your Apple stock, your Google stock, they go up and down, eventually they will go up. How about income growth? But our past 10 years is crazy for people who are 20K, make 20K and above. How about the next 10 years? We don't talk about the public. We talk about the number of people who are getting diamond award per month is scary. And the number of people who are millionaire in a year for agent only is also crazy. So how about the rest of the industry? Think income growth. So next, I also share with you the private home sales for the past 2 months and the existing month. Don't believe? You can check the sales next month. Even December, I foresee the large segment and the CCR will still move because ours is on the PREFECT TEN. We are coming in the December period, should be a good sales. And the last 2 pointers are talking about the Freehold and District 10. Now, with all these factors, then the major part will be, is PREFECT TEN. It's a great project. Now, I have many agents who come to me during the April and May, or even the early third quarters, or recently before they seen the show flat, they are telling me PREFECT TEN will not move. But after what happened that I shared with them, and they have gone through all these articles, this and that, and they came to show flat last few days, and they said that this project is undervalued. It's a steal. The prices has not changed over the last 2 quarters from the developer. So it's a good sign. So try not to talk so good in front of the developer until they may raise the price later on during the launching day. So you just keep quiet. Just in front of them, tell them no good. But behind, we have to tell us client, must commit this project and you never go wrong. Now, I shall share a bit on the PREFECT TEN. I'll share the first part. Now, this is the 6 factors. You have cleared the 5 and you don't give up. Okay, PREFECT TEN means perfect, perfection. Okay. Now, we do a comparison. Please do not kill any project, as I mentioned. And try to use quantum. and don't use PSF. This market, nobody will use PSF. If you compare 10 years ago, 15 years ago, they got planter, okay? They got bay window. That's why you take it into your 10 to 15% of your total area, your building area. Next, look at the landscape and today landscape, not only on large segment, even HDB. The landscape is also much nicer, despite the size is smaller. So today, just accept it, go into your mind, is the affordability. This project is elegant, super. It's all text to you every now and then. So we do a comparison on the CCR. Actually, I don't like to use the word CCR because we are not CCR. We are large segment. But because of the statistics, it's always talk about CCR, RCR, and OCR. But inside CCR, actually, we are the large segment. We are not putting down all those products, but that is a class different. Just like a GCB and a landed, there's always a difference. So without further delay, I'll go through the Canning Hill, let you have an understanding first. Now you look at this, you can extract this from the ERA Pro. For those who are not involved in this project or not during the Saturday launch, to you, do not mean anything. But let me tell you this. You may thought that this project are selling from the low floor to the high floor, which is wrong. Actually, especially the step 8 and 9, a lot of units are bought during the multiple purchase, land limited unit. My client was about 2 p.m. By then, no more already. Supposed to choose. Okay? Then what happened? Those what you see the balance one, okay? If people have no choice already, they must take, to be honest. But it's still a good buy. Then somebody asked, what is 1919? 1919 also no more already. So don't go into the individual unit. Because you go too much, your client asks, hey, why the unit not selling? We will not go and compare the particular unit. What we are telling them is that those like why I use the step A is because they are 2 bed, 2 bath. Okay? And then those that 24, 25, 26, all these are facing the MBS. Okay, the 2+ studies. You see, now today people are buying, they want to buy a premium first, great facing, as high as possible. As high as possible. Now, I would later, Terence will review the price. Between the high floor and low floor for the 2-bedder, it's only 200,000 different. 200,000 different. Over 20 over story, 23 story. You will divide out, each level is only about 8,000 plus different on each level. Just like the one that on Saturday, per level difference is only 5,000. That's why we choose 22nd floor. Per level. Also, some of the HDB per level also got 10,000. Per level 5,000. So if per level 8,000, Marcel, you choose the highest or second highest or as high as possible because your view is going to be fantastic, to be honest. Overlook the reservoir, overlook the botanic, the orchard, because behind is all low. Or Novena, where to find this sort of view? Okay, so just to tell you first, that their launch is all higher one go first, followed by the lower one, just to share with you. You see, sunset is just to share. Okay, I don't go detail. Next, we talk about the OB area. Now in this area, they are all side by side. I think about 200 meters. Okay, the exact is not important. They have the 3 orchard by the park. Park Nova, Cascadia, and also Boulevard 88. They are so close to one another. Why don't they sell all at the same price? Why don't they sell? And the worst part, they allow Park Nova to be more than 50% sold. So you see, it's not just the location, it's also the product attribute. I repeat again, because a lot of them tell me Bukit Timah got a lot of project. I agree, I fully agree. But you must compare apple to apple. So along there, you can see all the whole stretch there, all having different PSF, 3,000 plus, 4,000 plus, 5,000 plus. And it's not because the land size is very big. The land size also vary a lot. So we are not far away from there, and our quality and landscape are superb. We are the same grade. Whether it's Novel 18, whether this location there, if you have not seen the show flag, I would suggest later on quickly go and book before the slot are taken up for tomorrow and Monday. Then you will agree with me. These are all in a grade A product. How about the last one? I don't compare a lot because we are not there to compare project and then start to kill off other projects. We are just want to tell them how great we are, then we select unit, I'll just move on. Large segment buyer won't have the time with you 2-3 hours. Now come to this part. If you look at the 4th Avenue residence, which is about 2005 to 2050 or 60 there, based on the chart. Then you look at Royal Green comparison and the Sloan. They don't feel offended. Those who are doing this project, I'm not saying your project no good. But Royal Green, how high? Don't take it that my project is just PSF. If you look at the low 4 comparison of later on, the DD will share, Terence will share, we should compare the low PSF together with Royal Green. And the difference, you look at it, is only 14 to 16% different only. But the product is different. Trust me. Okay. Then next will be the 4th Avenue residence. They are leasehold or freehold. Because a lot of speakers have been saying the gap is about 30% different. So we are not far off. We are about 33 to 36%. Just to tell you first, if you go and check it out. So I just want to clarify, we are not expensive. We are still undervalued, provided you have seen our product. Oh, okay. Now these are the, they are upcoming, there are more and more slides, but I will not go through the very important because most of it you already know. So I just want to emphasize on 4 things. First, location is always talk about MRT. We are not just a single station, we are interchange. If you look at it, our next 3 stations from the Newton, from the Stephen and the Botanic Garden are all interchange, which is now famous for what? Integrated project. And if going to be integrated project, right, what will happen to the value? Because they are GLS land. Integrated project, all these are 99 years. Why? Why I say that? Pasir Ris already got. Canning Hill also have. Look at the Northeast line. From Punggol, Sengkang, and the subsequent fuel station, all got integrated. Here got 3 interchange. Either one of it will definitely increase your pricing. If any of the nearby project, the next door neighbor en bloc, your prices also will move. So MRT, 4 pointers is important. Let me tell you this, 4 pointers. Which are 4 pointers? MRT, schools, amenities, and lifestyle. Okay, so I shall not go through all the details, but it's good for you for understanding because we are running out of time. I will just briefly go through this one. I am sure you know. So all this will just briefly go through. Later you can go through. This slide will all provided to you. Okay, all the schools are there. There are many more. Okay, the ACS is there's an overhead bridge. So you just need to cross. I heard someone said this one I'm not studied at school. The overhead bridge, later they cross over, they can reach the 2nd floor of ACS. This one I dare not to commit, but that's what I heard. Even there isn't, it doesn't matter. Very simple, because it's safety. It's just right in front of you. The overhead bridge is at your doorstep. Okay, no need to walk very far. Okay, these are the amenities. Okay, you got the schools, you got MRT, you got amenities. It's not far away, within 2 kilometers. Okay, just a quick run of it. Then you got the lifestyle, you got the Rochelle Green, Bukit Timah, Rochelle Green corridor, the green corridor, also at the doorstep, just opposite. Behind us is a botanic. On the right-hand side is our healthcare side. Okay, all the detail you will just go through. I think this was shared during the past few months. I just compiled into one presentation for everybody. Okay, you see, so nice. Okay, all these are for you to go through. I try to go slowly on the first few pointers. All these are all the amenities all around the PREFECT TEN. Because I have one important one to share with everybody. Okay, Beauty World are just about 5 stations from us. If you want to walk and you want to cycling, about 20 minutes. If you want to drive, about 10 minutes. Okay, this is just for you. You can go through with that, but no need to go through every single slide with your client. I think whatever I share is good enough. This is just for your understanding to share with them. Okay, sorry I'm fast. Okay, now why it's important. First, we have to understand the concept of MA concept. This is important because it's all related. All these are related to what? To your Lux project. It's all talk about prestige, lifestyle, and status. Now I've already covered the place, which all the previous 10, 15 slides is already there. You can go and read out. I think you should know where are all the location, the ACS, and all the schools or amenities. So that part is already shared before, and you are Singaporeans or PR, you should know this place very well. So I will leave it for you to read out. Later on, Terence will share with you the space and the void, so that how great is this project, okay? Now, if you based on the MA concept, the Chinese is called 间, 房间的间. So you can see this twin tower, this twin tower is the 2 door to it. And then you saw a 日, right? It's your clubhouse. You must come, seriously. You don't come, I tell you, you will regret. You will regret. It's very, very nice project. After you understanding how this landscape about. So all these are talking about treasure and wealth, because they are telling you 2 things in between, they are all integrated together, close relationship. Now it's not easy for you to visualize, but you come to the show flat. Those who have seen the show flat, they will agree with me. It's totally different. Now it's all static. You can't visualize it. But just think of this Chinese word 间, okay? Now, a lot of them ask me why they are not getting all the famous designers to come. No need. Why? Let me tell you. 21 Border Road, which they sold, is 23,000 PSF. You see, we start off from 3,002. They sold at 23,000. Can you imagine it? So what they're going to do? They are going to bring the entire team to PREFECT TEN and do up similar. How? These are record, 23,000. So they are bringing the whole team there. So definitely when this thing comes, they will also bring the value, great value to the project. Look at it, 21 Border Road compared to ours. Long, great, long driveway. Look at us, we are 80 meter. And in actual fact, it's 100 meter, but this driveway is 80 meter, you see? Very similar. But in Hong Kong, costs about 20 over 1,000. Look at your so-called your different for all these clubhouse. Very good. When you come here, it's totally different. The feel is different. Now you cannot feel it, trust me. But you go there, you can feel it. Even the table itself is at Showfat now, costs about 500,000. Once they move to PREFECT TEN, you have no chance to touch unless you are one of the owner. Okay, look at it. This table is on the left hand side. Okay, you see, grand. It's very grand. Now I shall stop here, but before I hand over to Terence, you look at it. The whole area, whether it's north, south, east, west, and it's very stunning in terms of the location and also the view. So without further delay, I will hand over to my partner and also the project DD, Terence. Terence, over to you.
Okay, so a little bit facts about PREFECT TEN. Now we are 24-story twin tower, 230 units of 2 and 3 bedroom, ceiling height of 3.225 and for the typical and 4.475 for the penthouses, which is I would say you can call it commonly seen today, but along this stretch of Bukit Timah, this is one of the more exclusive and well thought of design in terms of the entire building, the facade, and also the unit layouts. Today, we are in between two MRT. So as you all know, you have been marketing a lot of projects that parking lots is only given 1:1. So for PREFECT TEN, we only have 230 parking lots, which includes 5 EV lots, which is those for electronic vehicles, and 3 accessible lots. This development also comes with concierge service. Now, the beauty of it, of course, Darren has shared a little bit about price earlier. The beauty of it is if you look at the maintenance fee, you have private lifts, you have concierge service. We wouldn't be expecting a $522 or even $610 maintenance fee a month. Of course, this is before GST. So when you are in this segment of properties, often clients who pay top dollar for it, you would assume that they are fine with paying thousands of dollars for maintenance fee. But this is often the first objection or the first question that buyers will ask. And I think with this, with any other developments, I'm sure they are paying almost the same maintenance fee as us. And if you look at you have seen the facade earlier, this is designed and sculpted by DP Architects and landscaped by Salad Dressing. These are, I would say, very well-known companies that have done a lot of projects in Singapore as well as overseas. So let's move on to what is PREFECT TEN all about. Now, we sell PREFECT TEN not as a development because we are all salespeople. And we should take note of one thing, that words, when said and articulated in the right way, it can change a person's belief. It can change your client's mind. We often reach out to our client and tell them that, hey, we have a new launch coming up, and it's freehold, it's leasehold, how many stories, in which district. But take a different approach when you're selling this to your client. Tell your client that if you haven't bought something, we have the perfect development for you. When they ask you how perfect is it, being human nature, they want to know, if you say perfect, your perfect and my perfect could be different. Your rating of perfection can be a lot different from mine. A scale of 5 to 10 is perfect to me, but a scale of 10 to 10 might be the only perfection for your client. This is for you to bring out little facts of this development bit by bit, not just location. Although we are very near school, it's a good selling point, but I will leave it to the end to sell the schools, because if I really want to buy something for the purpose of schools, I can buy any resale development along that stretch, which will cost me about $1,700, $700 to $1,800 per square foot. Of course, they are much older development. Now, we talk about new launches, we talk about new designs, because each new launch has improvement over the last one. we evolve. So does design, so does technology. So what is so special about PREFECT TEN? PREFECT TEN architects, developers have looked thoroughly into the district, the surroundings, and they want to inspire a modern interpretation of District 10, District 10's living, and being on a freehold land, that gives us the edge over a lot of properties. Of course, along Bukit Timah Road, there's a lot of freehold, but freehold land is only worth that much when a property is young, because the land appreciates while the property will depreciate according to time. Land is like wine, while the building itself is not, because age will tell. Of course, the next thing is we talk about luxury. What is luxury to us? What has PREFECT TEN got to offer that other developments don't? Well, every development offers almost the same thing. A pool is a pool, a gym is a gym. It's how you place these spaces to redefine a gym being the gym, not just another gym, or a clubhouse that is truly that clubhouse. What I mean by that is a place to be seen. And I think PREFECT TEN has the uniqueness of that, because if you look at, this is the architectural sketch. From a main concept, water features, if you look from a top view, the first picture, top left, water features unify the architecture of the environment. So they created, as you enter, you have the pool. So they have this water flowing into the entire development. It creates a kind of fluidity and movement to the entire space, rather than a very dead space with two rectangular blocks standing there. And the main driveway, it tries to give you that feel of Bukit Timah, because when you buy Bukit Timah, you talk about the greeneries, you talk about Bukit Timah Nature Reserve and so forth. So the landscape artist has also created this, that when you enter your development, you are greeted by very large pool landscape. So with that 80-meter driveway, it is something that is coming back from a long day's work, tired, stressful. What you need now is to enter your development, have a nice drive, a very soothing drive along nature before you reach your own lobby, before you reach home. So this is more like an entire process of welcoming you home, not just any other home, but only at PREFECT TEN. And with the pool cabana, sculpted trees. So these are all little elements that add a kind of serenity and a touch of elegance to the entire development. If you look at the landscape that is surrounding the development, we talk about the driveway, now we talk about the surroundings. Of course, there are still existing developments that is around it, but what the landscape artists will try to do is we have good setbacks between two buildings, which is separated by lots of greeneries. And if you look at the bottom center picture, this is where the clubhouse and the gym is, and the pool in the center. So if you're looking along from Bukit Timah Road, this is what you will see, something that is very majestic. You know, people who buy into developments, they ask about facilities, what kind of facilities you have, since you say you're so perfect. Now, facilities, like I mentioned earlier, you have a gym that is there. A lot of people ask or even sign up during the COVID period. They sign up with clubs, gyms and all that. Why do they even attend gyms? Some people attend for fitness. Most people attend because they want to be at a place to be seen. Now, what is so special about us is that we are elevated. Our gym is elevated, where from the main road, people can see you. So I would tell my client that you can stop your membership, start using the gym here, because this is the place to be seen. Likewise for the clubhouse, hosting parties and all that. COVID has opened up. As of today, we have 5 packs per group. Good news. Hopefully, when everything is back to normal, the clubhouse can be fully functional and used as what it is used to do. life's aspiration, polished to perfection. What do they mean by that? Having a twin tower along Bukit Timah Road and the materials they use, when we touch on later, when you're coming home or you're navigating your friends to your house, often they'll ask which development, because all of them look the same, or even you can recognize by certain era a development is being built. With PREFECT TEN coming up, we will be the tallest building for the moment. As of now, before any en bloc takes place around there, we will be the tallest building, and based on the materials that they have used, you can probably see PREFECT TEN from afar. So this is something that people buy into it. Why do they want to buy into PREFECT TEN? Why don't they buy other launches that we are marketing? Other launches that we say that they are as perfect, they're in District 9, they're in District 10, and so forth. To convince them, again, words, when used correctly, will change their mind, will change their concept and perception of things. So imagine, bring them to a space where your clients can use their imagination. Coming home, or when you invite your friends over, how often can you tell your friends that probably just after Newton or so, before you hit Balmoral, you're able to see my home? Not many developments can offer that. Of course, in the future, perhaps more will follow suit, but it's always nice to be the first. And that is what people who want to spend that kind of money on you, that's what they want to do. They want to be the first. Now, the landscape entranceway lined with greenery, and this is the drop-off point. These are things that it is a very subtle touch, although many of us will say that if we are residents there, we will basically just drive down to the 2 basements of car parks and park our car and enter the lobby. But we want something to greet our guests. If you're staying in this place, you bought this development, you don't want it to be a shabby place for your guests to arrive and go up to your place and say, hey, look, your lobby is actually not so fantastic. Those that have visited the show flat, as you enter the show flat where the reception area is, that kind of mimic the lobbies with the concierge, because we have 2 concierge services. So that will mimic how the concierge will look like. If you look at the symmetry of the buildings, we call it a perfect balance of form, because directly looking at it, although our entrance is at one side, they have placed the entire building, the twin towers, symmetrically at the center of the piece of land. It's a T-shaped land. And if you look at it from here, you may feel that, oh, what about noise level? Because the building seems very close to the road. But not to worry, you still have an 80-meter driveway, which acts as a setback for the building to be recessed. So noise level-wise, there are certain things that the developer has taken into consideration. Noise is one of them. They have done certain treatment to the glass, to the balcony glass, to so-called lower the noise level. Of course, we all know noise travel upwards. So for clients who wants to live at the top floor, noise is never an issue. The issue is often with us because we have that objection ourselves, because we have been selling so many properties. But you'll be surprised that a lot of your clients who bought from you all the high floor, they never ever complain to you when they collect their keys and say that, hey, you asked me to buy a 30th floor and it's very, very noisy. Never. We have very high reflective glass being used in this development, which you don't see much of it in aside from being in Shenton Way and all that, high reflective materials. So you have a touch of silver reflection, and you have rose gold trimmings, rose gold reflection. That will bring us apart from the rest of developments that you can find along Bukit Timah Road. So all the materials, aluminum, mesh, everything combined together Some of us will call them rojak. It may turn out horrible, but having the right people do the right job, combining materials together gives you a very elegant feel. Those that have not seen a show flat, do drop by and have a feel for yourself what we mean. So the choice of materials are important in development. Of course, to us, these are all in the common areas. We may say that we don't use it, we just have a glance and we go home. But the effect is coming home, the feel will be very different. So not many developers will put so much effort into all these details. Now, sensory indulgence. When you pay for top dollar, you expect top finishing, you expect top facilities, you want that kind of indulgence, you want to pamper yourself. That is why you are willing to pay so much for yourself or your family. If we look at all the facilities, the design and form itself, Cascaden landscape gives you a very 3D feel. Rather than just a block, it gives you a sense of depth. That is what the concept of Ma is all about, because they have that void, which is a negative space versus the positive space. Now, it also comes in line with perfection. When we talk about perfect 10, 10 upon 10, that is why we call them perfect 10. Your clients will probably ask you, nothing is perfect in this world. Yes, I agree. However, for this development, all the imperfections that you can find are almost perfect as well. Facilities, I will not run through too much. We have 41 facilities that is in the entire development. But the new thing that I've seen is they have an ion pool, which supposed to be friendly to the skin, rejuvenation and all that. That's what we were told. And also we have a mineral pool, which we are still inquiring what is this mineral pool all about, although it's probably something very similar to the ion pool, which for treatment, for relaxation and all that. These are the two new things that we have seen. Other than that, barbecue pit, party pavilion and all that. You can go through the slides later on. And we have also facilities on the roof deck. I mean, being almost unblocked, what good is a roof garden if we don't have facilities up there? So the views are fantastic. And the developers have also taken note that a lot of owners are concerned about, if I buy the 24th floor and I have facilities on top, I have pool above me, what's going to happen to waterproofing? What is going to happen if there's water leakage? Is there a higher tendency for water seepage or leakage and all that? So they changed their design along the way, because Mr. Victor Lee has been doing developments for so long, and he's so into this that he altered the whole thing and say that, look, I just want the pool in the center, because my buyers will be concerned if there is a pool that stretches across the entire tower. So you see here, item 9 and 10, this is where the pool is going to be smack in the center, but there's also 2 water tanks at the side, which he has also specifically told his team to look at waterproofing. So you can assure your clients that everything has been carefully thought of, not just by the architect, but by Mr. Victor Lee himself. So nobody would believe that a person with a net worth of 30.6 billion as of 2021 actually sit down on the drawing board and go through all these plans and even drew each and every layout himself. So this is worth sharing with your client, because often we get challenged by a client that who is the clever person that drew this design, and challenge you that it's a horrible design when we tell them that the layout is very efficient. So I will put forward that we are very privileged that we have Mr. Lee to draw out the plans for us. And most of your clients will, well, if they have nothing better to say, they will not say anything, because they will still have to give that due respect. So these are some of the photos which I will do a very quick run through. Everything you can find on Portal or ERA app. Now, personal space and polish to perfection. What is personal space? You're buying, often we're telling our clients that you're buying into development, how great is this development, how it looks and all that. But unfortunately, we don't own the entire development. We don't own that building. We don't own the clubhouse. We own a share of the clubhouse. Basically, we own the unit that we purchase. And what do we have when we buy? Views is one of them. If you tell me this is the price I'm willing to pay, what do I get? You get $1 million view. As you can see, the green lines here, these are the unobstructed view. Directly opposite us, there are 2.5 stories landed properties. So in terms of master plan, the landed properties are here to stay until probably the next 10 years or so. When it's being reviewed again, we won't know. But for the time being, our views are totally unblocked, front and back. So this is where we are. What I mean by you can be seen from afar is that when you look at this artist's impression, you realize that the surrounding buildings, they all look very similar in terms of coloration, in terms of design. But PREFECT TEN sits nicely in the center and it's going to stand out among the rest. And that is what people pay for. And that's what people want. You need a home, but you will want more than a home. You want something that is a reflection of yourself, your status. You are who you are today. You make it today. That is why I want to live in Bukit Timah and I want the best in Bukit Timah. And this is what we are selling it to them. The materialistic instinct of men often takes the better of him. So when you sell products like that to them, this is what you have to tell them. They don't buy a Ferrari for nothing because they like the emblem of the horse. I don't think so. There are two types of people that owns a Ferrari. One is a car lover who is passionate about the engine, and the other is passionate about who is looking at him. So same thing, when we sell this product, we use the same skill set, the same words to sell to two different types of people because they will buy what you say. So as you can see, the view, it's not just unblocked. You have a lot of unblocked views. Unblocked views come in unblocked pocket views. Unblocked views like these are basically landed property and it's totally, you see a span of more than 2 kilometers or even 5 kilometers. And of course, you look into greeneries. But these are things that people are willing to pay for because in Singapore, we call it a concrete jungle. If you stay in a landed property, forget about the view. If you stay anywhere near the CBD in Orchard area, the convenience is there, but you're looking at another iconic building that's next to you or opposite you. So the people that are living there basically love architectural works. Otherwise, they wouldn't buy into the area because they just love looking at other people's buildings and so forth. But over here, we are selling to people as something that you can come home and relax because you're just looking out at nothing. You're looking at an empty space, you're looking at greens, and it's one of the most therapeutic things you can do when you come home from a busy day. Now, what is so special about 3-bedroom? I'll only touch on the unique part of a 3-bedroom. Bedroom sizes, most people will ask, how many square meters? But at the end of the day, you will still, your clients or agents will still ask the same thing. You tell them 10 square meters, they'll ask you how many meters by how many meters. Okay, prepare your measuring tape and come to our show flat. The unique thing, if you see at the bottom here, is we have 2 private lifts for a 3-bedroom. Even one of the top-notch projects in Orchard Road, they don't provide you with 2 private lifts because the developers never believe that, why should I provide you with 2 private lifts for a 3-bedroom when you probably have a household of 4 to 5 packs? Over here, the developer has provided 2 private lifts. The one right at the bottom, as you can see, the bottom line, it's see-through because it's an observational lift, or you call it a bubble lift. You can buy whichever floor in the development, but still enjoy the different views of different floors because it's open to look into a Bukit Timah Road, across the road. So this is something very well thought of. And the lift shaft, people are going to ask, are they part of my strata area? No, they are not. Only your private lift lobby is, because the private lift is still shared by the entire stack. There's not many long corridors in this development. That makes it very, very efficient. So for a 1281 square feet, if you look at it, we can bet this has got the biggest master bedroom compared to any projects that we have seen so far of the same size. Common rooms are about 10 square meters, but the living and dining is very, very spacious. And also for the sales kit, developer has also given us an app, which in due course, once it's released, we will release to everybody, which is a very interactive app for your clients as well. You basically open up the app, it triggers your camera on the phone, it scans the floor plan, and this will appear a 3D virtual tour of it. So this will stay tuned for updates on this. This is the observational lift that I mentioned earlier. So before even reaching your home to enjoy that beautiful view from a tired day, you step into the lift, this is what you start enjoying already on the way up. And I remember as a kid when I visited family that was staying in an orchard with private bubble lift, this is always something that I wanted to do, taking the lift up and down. In the course of a 3-hour visit to my relative's place, I think I took the lift at least 4 to 5 times because it was something very, very interesting. And the views in the day, views in the night is fantastic. So at PREFECT TEN, this is something that we are offering. And perhaps why they offer 2 lifts is because if children like me used to take the lift up and down 10 times, it may break down faster. So 2 lifts are provided. Now, nothing goes without comparing fittings. Not just as agents, we like to compare. You're selling at this price, what are you providing? Clients as well. Melee, as we all know, can be made in different countries. The melee here are all made in Germany. Some of them are made in, like for example, the coffee maker is made in Switzerland, because melee can be made in China as well, or Japan. And then we have his and her wash basins. This come as a normality in today's development. Even though the toilet can be very, very small, people still want to have the his and her. So these are all part of the fittings that is being provided. We all know that CK Assets Holding, all their projects from the past, from Vision, Star of Coven and all that, they have always been very elaborative in their design, in their provisions that they give to their clients. Now, 2-bedroom, I will only share one of the layouts here. The rest you all can look at it online. This is one stack 4 and stack 6. These are the units that are facing at the back. Of course, you don't get that so-called city view. But the good thing is you're away from the main road, you are sheltered, so you don't face that noise level. The second plus point is that you have a lift. If you look at the top of the layout, you have a private lift lobby. And if you look at the lift shaft, there are 2 entrances because it's a common private lift. So owners of that unit tap access card and you will enter the door via on the right-hand side. And for your guests to come up, they have to enter from the common entrance. So this is one of the unique selling point of our development. 2-bedroom with private lifts. In this stretch of Bukit Timah, I don't think you're gonna find any in the new development. And if you look at the space design, it is highly, highly efficient. I think one of the reasons why when Mr. Lee drew these, when he lay his pen on a piece of paper and things become more efficient is because being in Hong Kong for so many years, you know how small the houses are. You have to plan efficiency. You have to plan proper use of the space in order to have a 786 square feet to look like 800 square feet. So when he did this, which put his heart and soul into it, things are different. And these are things that you can share with your clients. Okay, likewise, the 2-bedroom unit layout plan is the same. When your clients enter the show flat, there will be an app for them to download, and they can, hard copy of the brochure will be brought home, and they can play with this app at home with the brochure. Of course, provisions are very similar to a 3-bedroom. And finally, we did mention before that in this development, we are giving the owners there, the residents, a 500,000 tabletop, kitchen top in the clubhouse. Now, a lot of developments give you good fittings, but not many developments actually wants to put an art piece in the clubhouse to be common use item. This will be shared among all residents in the clubhouse. And of course, some looked at it, some came to our show flat, they looked at it and asked, why is this piece of table worth $500 million? Sorry, 500,000. Because it's designed by the late Zaha Hadid, an Iraqi designer and architect. And she's also known as the Queen of Curves because she has done a lot of architectural work, which are fantastic. You Google her name, you look at all the products that she has done. And so we have this masterpiece sitting in the clubhouse. This is a final touch to make us so perfect because it's not just about the home you're buying and how beautiful it is, how lushful it is for your lobbies or even your concierge service. But when you bring guests to the clubhouse, this is something that you can shout about. I'm sure no owners who buy a property here would want to have 500,000 countertop in their home. But they get to enjoy it because developer has graciously bought it and placed it there. We will go into a short video for you to understand and enjoy.